Welcome to the Winning Edge podcast, where we share focus, fueling, and faith-filled stories and strategies to give young athletes the tools they need to become the best version of themselves as athletes and individuals.
What you eat and how you think can transform your athletic performance and overall well-being. Whether you're an athlete, coach, or fitness enthusiast looking to gain that mental edge and optimize your health, this podcast is for you. We are your hosts. I'm Lindsay, former collegiate athlete, coach, educator, and educational coach for over 20 years, and a mom of 2 young athletes.
And I'm Stacy, registered dietitian nutritionist of over 18 years and a mom of 2 young athletes.
Today, I'm sitting down with some of the coaches here at Rowe Middle School in Cypress, Texas. And the football coaches at Rowe are really dedicated and focused on developing student-athlete skills, character, and teamwork both on and off the field. Our coaching staff here is responsible for guiding the football team and all the other sports teams, as well as developing the physical fitness of middle school students throughout the year. The football program focuses on teaching technique, strategy, positive habits, and leadership through participation and competition. In 2023, the football program won both the A and B championship, which is an incredible accomplishment. Their winning record is so impressive and reflects their efforts as a coaching staff to motivate students on the field, push their limits, and set high goals, as well as to be supportive in efforts for classroom teachers. Coaches, thank you for being here and taking a minute out of your day. I know this is not necessarily the most exciting thing doing a podcast, but I'm glad that y'all are here.
It's definitely a change up.
First interview ever.
Yeah.
First interview ever.
First interview ever.
I'm so excited.
What's happening around the world now?
Yeah.
I want to start off just because I know that we have a motto and phrase that's used here, not just with our teams, but with the student body and our staff at Rowe. And so I love that when you go to games, you can hear the crowd cheering it, the kids are cheering it, but y'all's players are always saying our phrase. And I want y'all to just say what it is and what does it mean for the athletics department.
I'll tell you.
Okay.
All right. Y'all want to say it together? 2, 3. Roll, let's roll. Cody, you want to take this?
Yeah, so I mean, row, let's row, obviously our name, but rowing together, moving forward. Our kids have had that instilled since 2020 when we opened. This idea of we don't want to rock the boat, we want to row the boat. We want to move forward through the water, and we can't do that without team effort and constant movement and fluid movement. And that's whether it's life or on the sports field. Our kids know, like, no matter what we're doing, we are rowing together, literally row together, but also moving forward towards an objective.
Yeah, I love that.
Just to kind of piggyback, like Cody said, or Coach Lansall said, it's really just working together to achieve the same goal, which is success. If one person isn't doing their part as a whole, that messes up the boat. So everybody needs to be on board, moving in the same direction, doing their job. And when we do that collectively, we get to our goal, which is success.
Mm-hmm.
Some kids, especially when they come probably from the 7th grade, are not used to working as a team.
Mm-hmm.
And so they can say that concept of row the boat and having to teach them about the team chemistry, the team environment, the team concept, that will take them just not only here, but also, high school, wherever they decide, or even they decide, any job that they're working.
Yeah.
You have to have a team concept in order to get to a goal that you want to reach. So, like I say, some not knowing that coming in and having to learn that and then helping them to stick with it through the whole process.
I love that too, because I think a lot of times in middle school, we get the kids where it's so like me. It's all about them.
Right,
They're like
exactly.
so focused on
That's why
themselves.
we have to continue to.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, which in turn, like, isn't a bad thing that they're focused on themselves, but they also have to be able to kind of pull their guard down and like be accepting of others and kind of showing some empathy towards others. So
Mm-hmm.
just understanding people around them rather than just worry about themselves all the time. I feel like if we do that, not just as a school, but as a society, as a people, we'd be better off. So
Completely agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you do when you have kids that, they're doing things, their oar is not in the water, they're not rowing? How do y'all help them understand that? Or is it the teammates that step up and call them out? How is that approached by y'all?
I think it's more as our responsibility, them not knowing to teach them, and that may be having a side conversation here in the coach's office. Hey, let me holler at you for a second. Hey, I like what you're doing, but you need to redirect that into a positive. Understand, you want to be a leader, or or you need to redirect in a positive way rather than a negative way. Because a lot of times you get people who try to help, but they don't know how to help each other, or they don't know how to help their teammates. So
Right.
it comes off negative
Right.
in a sense of basically degrading or belittling their teammates rather than building them up. So that's those private conversations. I don't want to have them in front of everybody that you have with that individual, especially based on their maturity level, if they can comprehend it or not.
And I mean, we're kind of dealing with that now with one specific player. His maturity level as an eighth grader is way beyond what your average eighth grader is right now.
Yeah.
And he deals with situations like if he was an adult, but he also has to remember that he is just a kid. And sometimes when he reacts to certain things, he's reacting as an adult when he's trying to correct his peers on the football field. But he also has to realize, like I said, he's a kid and they're kids also. Everybody's not going to be on your level mentally.
Right.
So he's a leader at heart, but he has to learn how to approach different people in terms of just trying to get the best out of them and not in a negative way, more like in a positive way. So
I like that you said, you call them in the coach's office and have that conversation
yeah,
so that it doesn't put a kid on blast and then make them feel some kind of way about
right.
themselves,
Right.
and embarrass them, or like y'all are literally mentoring these kids. And I'm so thankful that our students have y'all, because you do an incredible job
Thank you.
of that. So we are a Title I campus, and a lot of times I think Title I campuses get overlooked into what different challenges we have that other schools may not have. So I just want to hear y'all's perspective. What unique challenges or opportunities do you see in this role at a Title I school as a coach?
I think there's a lot. Um, um, at some campuses in this district, they come in, they coach, they go home. That's that, and that's great for them. Here and at other Title I campuses, you come in, you're a guidance counselor, you're someone's dad, you're someone's brother, you are a therapist,
Mentor.
you're a mentor, you're
Just everything.
feeding kids
We
just to
work,
make
we wear
sure.
multiple hats.
Yeah. And then on top of that, we coach football and then deal with all the other stuff at the same time. And then it spills onto the field. And that's one of the areas I think that people don't understand the challenges that some of our kids truly face in as a Title I campus.
I feel like since we are a Title I campus, a lot of people don't, like you said, a lot of people don't realize what we go through is turn like more many hats. I mean, not saying that there's not problems with other schools that aren't Title I,
Right.
but here you got to realize some kids are going home. Most of the kids are single parent homes. If they're a single parent home, that single parent is most likely working and they're not at home when their kid gets home. So some of these kids are having to grow up really, really fast when compared to another campus that's not a Title I. I mean, not saying that they don't have single parent homes, but more than likely they have both parents at home. One is working, one is at home. They come home to a stable environment. Not saying, like I said, not saying that they don't have any issues. Everybody has problems,
Right.
but more than likely they're not dealing with the same issues that we deal with or that the kids deal with when they go home. So it's rough on them.
But I think a lot too with the parents, like you said, a lot of these kids don't have the basic foundation of respect, compassion,
Right.
just knowing how to respond to people. And so that's part of our job too, to teach them what respect looks like. That may be, they don't have that person that may be working out necessarily not at home to tell, hey, this is how to show respect when you're around adults. This is how you speak when you're around adults. This is how you have compassion for somebody. And so some of our kids don't have that. So again, that's something we have to instill into them also, as far as what it looks like. and telling them what it looks like rather than, because at the end of the day, they're only going to do what they're enabled to do.
Mhm.
But if you try to correct that, then hopefully the older they get, that's something they'll stick with. Because I've had a lot of, I'm running the kids now, they're 27, 28 years old that I used to coach. And they tell me, Coach, appreciate what you done. You helped me out a lot.
Yeah.
And these were the trouble kids, but because it's stuck with them. And again, it comes up with that maturity level because they may not get it now or eighth grade, but hopefully when they go to high school, if somebody's reiterating it and reiterating it to them, hopefully it'll stick. And so they'll grow to start knowing, okay, this is what it looked like, even if they don't have it at all.
Right.
So,
Right. Well, and I like that you're saying that too, because it's just the time you put into them. Like, what's that effort that you're putting into the kids, that they need that, right? Kids crave discipline. They crave routine. They want to know what's expected. And they usually will rise to those expectations. So I think something that, is important for people to understand is that Title I schools, you set the bar high.
Right.
You don't set the bar low. You set the bar high. Sometimes I feel like we set it higher because we have so much passion for helping these kids prepare for life.
And it's another thing is just like a lot of these parents don't realize, I don't care what school you're at, that we see their kids way more than they see them during the school year.
Absolutely.
So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, then they get them for Saturday or the evenings, Saturday, Sunday, and then they send them back to school for 8 hours a day. So we are like the kids' biggest fans, whether they say it or not. Like they care about us just like we care about them, but they're too young to realize it at this point. So
Agreed. Well, something that I love that you guys do is you put focus not just on the competitive goals as coaches, and not all coaches do this, but I do have to shout y'all out. Like, you guys put an effort and as much work as you do with competitive goals on academic goals.
yeah.
And so I know that there are coaches coming into this that are young, that haven't had the experience, and they're in Title I schools. What would you say has been the best strategies for y'all to help kids stay academically sound so that they can play and they keep that eligibility?
I'm struggling with it a lot because of teaching 7th grade, and it's the first year of no pass, no play for them. One of the best things that we can do is we're fortunate on our campus to where we have pre-athletics in 6th grade year. If they want to be in a sport, the next year they can join that. So we start grade checks week 3. We grade check our 6th graders. They pull their laptops out, show us their grades, and we're holding them accountable. I explain it to the 6th graders right now is whenever you go out to dinner, you don't have to get dessert. You're just there to eat a meal. That's what sports are. It's extra for you. It's great if you get it, but you don't have to have it. And so by teaching them you're a student first, and this is all extra, this is a privilege that you get to do that, and teaching them in 6th grade versus them learning in 7th grade whenever it's 2 weeks until grades are due, I think it's been really beneficial is setting that standard early. If you are not being a student athlete, keep emphasis on the student first, then you don't get to represent me. You don't get to represent this school. You don't get to represent our principal, our namesake. Because I don't care about all sports and stuff whenever your behavior's not right, when your grades aren't right. So I think starting in 6th grade and focusing in on you are a student before you're an athlete. That's why it comes first in student athlete. And I think that's been really beneficial is just need to be passing. You need to do well in class. If you don't want to take care of business in the classroom, how do I know you're going to take care of business in a game? If you can't turn in an assignment for your English teacher, how do I know you're not going to miss a block, or you're not going to call the right play, or you're not going to do whatever it is that I've asked you to do? How can I trust you if I can't trust you to be in the classroom when I'm not there?
And so to piggyback off of what he just said in 7th grade, on the 8th grade level, do a lot of more of, you're going to high school. Raise your hands how many of you want to go to college to play a sport. You see all these hands go up. At the same time, it's like, okay, so your grades have to reflect what your goal is. So if you're not putting in the work now, you understand that if you want to go to a Division I school and that's your goal, they look at GPAs. And so you have to start off early here having good practices, and discipline to maintain a certain grade point average. Because when you go to high school, that's when it starts, and you want to go to college. So, right now, when it comes springtime, this is the time you need to kick in if you hadn't kicked in now. Because when you go to ninth grade, you can't be where you left off. Especially if you're good at your sport, college is gonna look at you. At the end of the day, they know you're talented. Now they're gonna find out, okay, what is this at Grace like? What type of person is he? He's a good teammate. And I've said that to kids this year already. That's what this is what college coaches want to know.
Yep.
I was fortunate enough to have a college coach come look at one of my eighth graders, and that's the first thing he asked, Coach, what kind of kid is he? How is he in the classroom? And I said, what's his grades like? And that's so we try to preach that before they get to high school, and hopefully, I'm pretty sure the high school coaches are going to say the same thing, but if we start early, instead of just being about winning, because a lot of coaches are just about winning and not growing them academically or growing them to be good young men, and being great people. So,
And like Cody was saying, and Coach, he was saying that if you're looking at a player that has great grades and they're able to do extracurricular activities like football or any sport, band or whatever, that shows they can handle responsibility. So as you get up in the ranks in sports, high school and college, I tell kids all the time, there's gonna be days that you're like, oh man, I don't want to play, because it becomes more of a job. Like high school, especially in college, it'll become more of a job to where in college you're off by yourself. You have the responsibility of going to practice, going to class, coming back, watching film, lifting weights, waking up at 5 a.m. in the morning, doing that whole thing for every day, then off season and all this stuff. There's gonna be days that you don't want to go lift. There's gonna be days you want to do practice. But if you can manage all that and have good grades, your GPA is great, that shows the coaches that you have great you have good responsibilities and your priorities are set. So
Yeah. Well, I was laughing because a couple weeks ago, I don't know how many of y'all went into one of the teachers' classrooms for a student, but I think there were like 5 or 6 people in that room, and 2 of them were coaches. And those kids were like, they were on their P's and Q's. They were like, oh, coaches are here, And so just the power that y'all carry, the weight of y'all's presence. I know our staff is really lucky, the classroom teachers, because y'all have their backs, right? Like if it's your athlete, no matter if it's your superstar athlete or a kid that's on your team that, is struggling, you guys invest that same amount of energy into all of them. And so lucky here.
I've told y'all this, and I've told all the coaches this. For me personally, I think the way the football team is, like if the football team is successful, I think that kind of indirectly determines on like how the school is as a whole.
I agree.
Because if your football team is successful, that means you have good leaders on the field, off the field, in the classroom, and they're setting an example for everybody else. Those are the type of people that you want to lead the rest of the students at your school. So
absolutely. I do think that the culture and the climate of the sports program is a direct like indication of what's going to happen in the rest of your building.
Right.
I mean, everything. We like to say like, oh, it's not just about sports, but it really, most of your kids are involved in some type of program. What y'all do down here, it's directly
it filters into
it's like, it's like a ripple effect.
And these kids, especially 6th graders, like now, they look up to these 8th graders. Like if you see them in the hall, they're what's up, and giving them that. And so, and we tell them you're role models. So whatever you do up there, people are watching. Whether you would think they are or not, especially in those 6th graders, and even 7th graders, they're watching to see what you do.
So they all come to the games. 6th graders are all at the games. They want to be involved with doing the chain, all stuff like that. So
and so's my cousin. Can I do chain?
Yeah.
Oh, Coach, I'm gonna be like this. I'm gonna be like him. Speaking on our point.
I'm
gonna be like
him.
I'm him, Coach.
Yeah.
So
I love it.
But also, like our kids, our athletes are involved in everything on this campus. Last night we had a choir concert, and our principal sends Coach Vaughn, Coach Woodard, and myself a picture of the choir bleachers where they're doing their performance, and 75% of them are football players.
Yeah.
Who you would think there's no way they can stand there and be quiet and sing on cue because they are spasmodic on the football field, but they're just it correlates they're involved, therefore they're going to perform better.
Right.
And I think that's another key for a Title I campus is the more involved the kids are, the more success we'll have.
How many times do we hear, Coach, I got to go to sectionals?
For band practice and all that.
Dads, tutorials.
Yeah.
I got to do this. I got to, okay, cool. Go.
Like, no problem. Be involved. Do it all.
Yes.
Do it all. How do you help your athletes, and well, really this one's families, but how do you engage with the families to make sure that like your athletes are supported at home? Because we know how you do that here, but
Yeah. So the biggest thing, especially in football, a lot of these kids are playing in little league leagues. So when they're playing in little league, they're all world, but most of the time, like the parents are really, really involved with them, which isn't a bad thing. But what happens is sometimes the parents get a little bit too involved once they get to middle school. So it's more so talking to the parents and letting them know that, look, we got it from here.
yeah.
Your kid's going to be fine. Don't worry. Y'all got to let go a little bit. They're here with us for the whole day. We're going to do good by them. Okay. So don't worry. So.
Yeah.
And one thing these parents understand off of Coach Tryon is that we have their kids' best interest in mind. And regardless of a little league, we're going to put them in the best position to be successful that is going to benefit them. Right. You know, whatever they did in little league, you know, whether they were the guy, that might not be what we have for him yet, because we're looking for the long haul.
Yeah.
What's going to best fit you? You know, when you go to high school, when you go from 7th to 8th grade, or when you go to 8th grade to high school, what's going to best benefit you to make you stand above the rest, to make you stand above? So that's what we look for here for our athletes, put them in the best position to be successful, because when they see they're successful, then that's when you'll get the best out of them. Whereas whatever they're doing in Little League, working Little League, you can't be, 200 pounds and play a corner. Even though you played corner in Little League, stuff like that we've gotten before. I was there when we played corner. You're not corner size. You're not corner speed.
Every lineman is a wide receiver.
And it's really just one of those things where, like, I mean, little league for your kids is great, but it's just like sometimes when the parents are too involved with like where they play in the league and how they do in little league, it promotes bad habits for the kid to where they can be uncoachable.
Yeah. Well, so many kids too, they start playing in those leagues when they're younger, and they do have parents coaching them, which is great.
Yeah.
I love it, right? Like, we wouldn't have a lot of youth sports without it.
When they start,
But as a mom and as a former athlete myself, like, you gotta let go of the reins, right? You gotta pass that over, because at some point your kid's not gonna have you coaching, and they have to be open to changing positions and experiences. Like, y'all are seeing the big picture.
And I saw this video on Instagram a couple of days ago where this kid like reclassified to be like in 7th or 8th grade so he can play in this A football league. And the kid is like maybe 6 foot, 200 pounds, and he's just running through people. And I'm like, they're not really teaching the kid anything.
No.
So and some of those kids, to be honest, me personally, I don't think kids should be playing in like any type of little league sports or outside sports once they are able to play for your school.
Yeah.
So, especially
it's
football.
like an off-season. Yeah, because you guys
football
way more injuries.
Yeah.
Injuries, and you put in so much work of, maybe bad habits.
Yeah.
Or trying to break some of the things that they learned, in the outside leagues that they don't teach them. I don't think they don't teach them or try to help them and mentor them like we do.
Yeah. Some of them do, but it's just...
No, I love it. I love that.
Some of them do, but just the effort that we put in, because we look at the big picture.
Yeah.
And like little leagues, they wanna develop them to understand that, but then some of them just want to win too.
Right. That November championship. That's where it's at.
So,
I think too, it's a double-edged sword. My 12 years of education have all been in Title I school. And you want parents to be involved, and you want to have that relationship with the parents so that way y'all can support one another. but it's also like how involved. And like they were saying about, you know, people trying to sway you one way or the other. I love your opinion. I love that you care about your kids, but I'm a professional as well. I know what I'm doing. And so, and I think that's an issue that we just struggle with being Title One is like the parent involvement. It's either not at all or could be over the top. And so I think it's figuring out a way for us to continue to be successful, but also building that bridge to where it's one of open communication and also just like how can we support one another
Right.
moving forward.
And I think we can all agree, like, I would rather the parent be over the top involved than not be involved at all. Cause then that sets like a little, like a base to where you can actually communicate with the parent, being like, look, this is what I need from you. We got them. Don't worry. We'll take care. We're not going to put your kid in any situation where it's going to harm them.
Right.
We only care about your child's success. So once the parent realizes that and lets go, they can still be involved, but more in a positive way. So,
I wish that every parent of incoming 7th graders could like hear this from y'all at the beginning of the year, because it's just reassuring. Like even for me, not having a kid here, it, you know, if my kid was playing football for y'all, I'd be like, oh heck yeah, like I don't got to worry about nothing.
Right.
That kid's gonna be fine. You know, like I trust that, and I think building trust with parents. We build trust with kids so much better, right? Because we're with them all the time. But building trust with the parents and the community, it is really hard. It's a hard thing in education.
And I feel like the parents that understand that are the parents of kids that, just speaking from a football's point of view, that the kids that have never played football. So like, remember last year, Big Red barely played any football. He progressively got better. I remember talking with his dad after each game. He's like, yeah, he really loves playing football. He loves playing for you guys. He's getting better every week.
Yeah.
And now he's one of the best defensive linemen in the whole district.
Yeah.
And last year was his first year playing. So seeing the kids that haven't played and the parents that are like, I guess, involved with them, they're more willing to let go versus the parents of the kids that were playing in Little League.
Well, that tracks because a lot of times Title I kids don't get that experience before they get to middle school because it costs money to play sports. You know, like we look at our, and I'm not sure how many people know this listening to the podcast, but we don't have middle school baseball. In Texas. Like UIL just approved it, but not much has been done, you know, with like you can have full on teams, and then you got to find the field for it. It's a whole thing. But having our teams, the prep teams, well, our kids that play here on the prep team, only a couple of them have ever really played before outside of here, versus if you go, you know, a couple miles up the road, every kid in the neighborhood's playing select baseball.
They've been playing since the third, fourth grade.
Yeah.
And they've all been playing together.
Yes. And so it is just, you know, it's a big difference that, you know, again, y'all make a huge impact on the lives of these kids. So, how do you, I'm just going to ask you a couple more questions. How do you measure success as a coach in a Title I setting for your team and as individual athletes?
I would say if you can see the team getting better, wins or losses, if you can see the team progressively getting better and they're coachable, no team that you coach is going to be the same at the beginning of the year compared to the end of the year. So we just had practice today. Our A team did pretty good. I mean, B team did pretty good in practice going up against the A team. But at the beginning of the year, it wasn't the case.
Right.
And after practice, I told them, look how y'all are now compared to the beginning of the year. That shows your progress. Everybody's flying around the ball. You're playing without thinking. So for me, it's more, did you get better over the course of the year? The wins will come. The wins will come. You can't win them all, but the wins will come if you get better.
I think on the individual level, he's talking about the game level, the sports level. When you see them as young men, as Cody was talking about, the pre-athletic kids, and you know, you can watch them grow. until they get to the end of the 8th grade in their maturity level. Because sometimes you see seventh graders, they're in that age where they don't know who they want to be.
Yeah.
But when they're involved in sports and when they're coachable and you see them maturing by the time they get to 8th grade and their maturity level has changed. But it's being involved in sports, it's getting that mentorship, outside of getting the training of sports, but they're getting that mentorship and how to be, a good person, responsible individual. And you see that maturity level, in the 8th grade, and you can say, because I me coming here and it's like, oh, that kid was bad last year. I'm like, what? But but it's just like I see finished product, which is a test to what's been happening, before I got here. So it's up to me just to keep that going for the next coach, whether it be high school, to keep that maturity level going and that responsible human being or a good person. So
For me though, is success being the 7th grade football coach is you get a bunch of ragamuffins that never played football before, and you throw them together and you teach them how to get in a stance, and you teach them 20 or so plays, and hopefully we can score a touchdown. A few years ago, I won one game. I was 1-7. We were competitive. We only lost by about a touchdown in each game, but we were 1-7. And I told Coach Trial, and I'm like, man, good luck next year. So fast forward the next year, the inaugural district championship, both our 8A and our 8B won, and he won with the kids that I had the year before. So I didn't win. I didn't win.
You didn't win.
But my success was seen the next year whenever they won. So
you built the foundation.
Yeah.
It took a minute, but yeah. But for me, like especially 7th grade, at the time B team, it's like you see the kids at their most raw form. And then at the end of football season, 8th grade, you see them at their like finished product. And so to like turn around and see these kids that you coached up and they did so well, and then or they didn't do so well with you, and then you turn around and they're district champs the first year it's open is for me is growth. Same thing with our 8th grade A team this year. Last year trying, we went 7-1. We lost in the semis, got 3rd place overall out of 20 schools, and then this year I'm don't want to jinx it, but they're going to do very well the remaining 3 games.
Yeah.
So it's kind of crazy, like you said, especially with 7th graders, you can tell the ones that have never played football. Like they're coming out to practice with their jersey on backwards, shoulder pads on backwards, chin strap is like not even on their chin, it's on their throat. Like chin strap is on backwards, pants are all the way down to their ankles.
Oh my gosh.
And then the responsibility coach. And somebody took my helmet. Somebody took my shoes.
I don't have a mouthpiece.
Coach, see on my locker. I don't know my combination, and it's 7.
And then like these kids.
Have you been here? Where?
I talk about this all the time. Like we have mouthpieces, and these kids lose a mouthpiece like it's something they don't care about, like it's something they don't need. And the mouthpiece comes right out of the package, so you're supposed to put it in boiling water to mold it to your teeth.
Right.
I tried this one time when I was in Little League. I put the mouthpiece in without molding it first. And that's the most uncomfortable thing ever. I don't know how these kids put the mouthpiece in without molding it. Like they just put it in there. I'm like, wow.
I don't know, the process that you guys go through. Taking them from
you have to trust the process.
Yeah.
It's a term that you have to do. Trust the process and know eventually they will get it. Like you said, when they get to 8th grade, of course, we still have some 8th graders who, can't find their heads.
I mean, and there's plenty of stories of like professional players playing that didn't play football until they were in high school, like 10th grade, and they just needed someone to get them on the field or get them into that sport. So they got to understand that nothing happens overnight.
I love that you guys are so invested in that process with your kids. Like
I want to say one of the biggest, like the coolest things is seeing like all the kids that left here that are in 9th grade now or 10th grade that were here like 2 years ago. They all still come back to watch our practices and stuff like that. So it's kind of cool to see.
When we go to the high school game, all you hear is them calling your name in the bleachers or on the sideline. You walk inside, walk up to you. What's up, coach?
It's my first year seniors too. My first group that I coach are seniors this year. So here at the first group I coached here at Rowe. So that's pretty cool.
That's wild. Yeah. Well, thank y'all for doing this. And
No
Thank
problem.
you for having me.
it's so clear to me that your commitment extends so far beyond just athletics. And you really do play a vital role in fostering this school spirit and encouraging academic success and effort with the kids and being positive role models for them. So as an educator in the classroom and as a parent of athletes, I just want to say how much I appreciate all that you do
Thank
for
you.
all of our kids.
It's a hard job, but it's probably one of the most rewarding jobs
Absolutely.
that you can
Yes.
have.
It's rewarding.
Mhm.
Tiresome, yes.
Yeah.
At the same time, you know the end goal, so
Yeah.
that's what makes it more,
Yeah.
sustainable. So
Well, thank you for what you're doing because it definitely extends beyond the field and the walls of this room. So thank y'all.
Let us know in the next episode.
thank you.
We will. Stay tuned for future podcasts where we will bring on exciting guests in the sports world, highlight spotlight coaches, athletic directors, former and current collegiate and professional sports players, sports dietitians, psychologists, and more.
What you eat and how you think can transform your athletic performance and overall well-being. Whether you're an athlete, coach, or fitness enthusiast looking to gain that mental edge and optimize your health, this podcast is for you.
Don't forget to follow us on all of our social media channels for more exclusive content on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and X at @span_athletics.
Until next time, stay faithful, stay fueled, and remain focused on your goals.